Hello everybody out there and welcome back to another episode of Dark Avengers Halloween Havoc, and there's going to be stabbing going on before the end of this year, and I'm looking at one person who's going to get it. In this episode, which I apologize it's late along with last episode, I will be talking and reviewing Prometheus, which was set as the prelude to the Alien series, except this story took place on LV-223, the Nostromo from Alien 1, and the planet that's visited in Aliens, which is Alien 2, was LV-227. The best way for me to explain LV-223 and 227, how they're still related, obviously they explain it here, but another book series that I could recommend comic-wise is the Fire and Stone series that took place in Dark Horse last year. It went through Prometheus, it went through Aliens, it went through Predator, and it went through Alien vs. Predator. It was an excellent series, and it took place on both LV-223, LV-227, and in space. Enough said. But let's talk about Prometheus. Prometheus was all about the creators. From the beginning of time, these people believed that humans were not put on Earth. Scientologists, sit down. No, this is a movie, not your book. It has nothing to do with Scientology. So let's stop it right there, okay? This is just about Prometheus. Anyway, the world believed that aliens were the reason why humanity began. And in this series, not in reality, it was true. The makers were the reason why one of them ends up taking this formula. He degenerates, and then from him, or from the solution he drank, sprouted man in the primordial pool, or ooze pool, whatever you want to call it. So man originated from the engineers, as they're called. So we jump into the future, or the present in the future, and Peter Weyland's dying. I love how Peter Weyland is always connected somehow, whether it be Alien vs. Predator, Aliens, there's always a connection somewhere with Weyland. So he's dying, Peter Weyland, and he wants to find the engineers to save himself. And Elizabeth, putting a team together, including her boyfriend, they go off into space because she believes through ancient markings or whatever that there are engineers and they are out there. So they go to 223, and they actually do find a ship. Don't worry, there are no eggs, and even though this is a prelude to Aliens, it does not show aliens in this book. This is all about the engineers. But something bad happened. Something happened in general. Apparently, one of the ships got infected or was destroyed, or somehow there was a problem. There was an issue. And all the engineers disappeared, but there was one left. We did find one left, but we get to that later. David, who is the android, chooses to take some of the stuff from the ship and experiment with it, which leads to the death of Elizabeth's boyfriend, which leads to the death of many people, actually, on the ship because of what he did and because of the exploration that he chose, the methods he chose. So again, just like an Alien, the robot's the main reason why all the real heavy stuff is going on. Elizabeth, however, in this movie, which was really awesome, she somehow gets impregnated, and let's just say that she goes through the cycle really quickly, and she doesn't exactly give birth. She puts herself in a machine to give herself a C-section to pull this creature out, which later in the movie, at the very end, becomes a gigantic face hugger, or a squid-like version of a face hugger. Let's put it that way. And all this crazy stuff is going on. In the end, spoiler alert here, they wake up the engineer. The engineer ends up beheading David, but he's an android, so he survives. And everybody else slowly but surely gets killed off. So the last survivors are David's head and Elizabeth, and they're running from the engineer. The effects in this movie, the story itself, I'm leaving out a bunch of details on purpose. There's a lot of plot holes that you're not hearing me talk about in this review. And then in the very end, the facehugger actually engulfs the engineer. You have Elizabeth and David, spoiler alert, surviving but leaving LV-223. There's a distress call that's put out somehow. But she kind of leaves the message, don't come here, don't come looking for me. So she's still going out. She believes the engineers are somewhere out there still. And there actually is a sequel to Prometheus coming eventually. So in the end, the last scene is the engineer that was face hugged, or body hugged because this thing was so huge, and the alien birth in the very end, the very first version of an alien coming out of his chest. That was awesome. This movie was great. It got a magnificent from Ebert. I think this movie was really great. It was a nice prequel, and a lot better than Alien 3 and 4, I will say that. And the good news is, when they do the sequel for Alien, it's going to take place after Aliens, and it's going to ignore Alien 3 and 4, which again is a humongous plus, in my opinion, if they ever get to it, because they're going to be doing a sequel to Prometheus first. I love this movie. This movie was really great. I grabbed it once it came out on DVD Blu-ray, because this movie I wanted to see because I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise. There's a lot of homages to Alien, and while it is a prequel, remember guys, it's its own series and it takes place on a different planet. While it does have still some of the same aspects, it's still different. It's the same but different. Same universe, same problem, but in its own spin. That's why it's called Prometheus. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was an awesome, awesome movie. I loved it. If you loved Alien and Aliens, or Alien 2 if you want to call it, you'll love this movie as a prequel. With that, that's it for this review, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of Prometheus. This is a newer movie. I believe it came out only a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, in 2012. So, not too long ago, actually.
What's it rated?
I believe it's R. R. Yep. Rated R. So let me know what you guys thought of this movie in the comments below. And until next time, everybody, there's a bunch of links in the description below as well. Check them out at your leisure to Comic Frontline. Other things connected right here on Dark Avenger C86, Zone4Podcast.com, and the ever-building up Frontline Gaming Zone. Till next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see you guys really soon in the next video.